The following is a Thorpe TV production brought to you in cooperation with Jack Thorfinson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Saturday Gun Chat. That relaxing time way up north near the Canadian border where Mr. Holster sits down in the shop and talks about guns. Let's have a warm round of applause for that Saturday gun guy, Mr. Holster!
Saturday gun guy, Jack. Oh man, you cracked me up. That guy probably didn't even get up till Sunday.
What he does on Friday night. Oh, Mr. Holster, hey, that's me. Howdy, pards, it's me, Mr. Holster. Excuse the dust. Yeah, the annual barn cleaning today. Drag everything off, hose the whole barn down, then drag it back in. Just got done doing that. A little out of breath. Let's get the program started off right to the sunny slopes of long ago. That doesn't heat you up and cool you down all at the same time. I tell you, Jack was a little perturbed this week because about a month ago he got a letter from Smith & Wesson apologizing that they were a little tardy in sending out their rebates for the guns they sold, and it told him that he'd get his rebate check by July 31st. And they apologized for it being tardy. Their performance didn't meet up their standards, which, of course, if you saw Jack's bodyguard that he bought to get the rebate, as soon as he read the part about not meeting up to their standards, he was quite upset. And I thought it was so funny because, yeah, if you look at the gun, there are no standards if you look at that gun. But at any rate, he was hoping he'd get that by the 31st, or figured he would, so he had lined up a poker game for Friday night last night. And of course, the check never came. Yeah, he's still yet to see that check. So, no poker game. He thought he was going to parlay that 50 bucks into a Ruger. He had his heart set on going and getting himself a Ruger SP101 and the 3-inch barrel. So he was quite disappointed. For like the last week, he's been going out to the mailbox every day. As soon as the mailman stops, he's out there. Whoosh, and every day he comes back quite upset that his check isn't there yet. And I said to Jack, you know, Jack, the whole thing's a disaster. The gun's a piece of garbage. You know, how did you ever expect to ever see the 50 bucks? It's classic all the way through. This is one of these things, Jack, you never should have done it. Period. You never should have done it. There's no way you're going to win and come out. It's, you know, you might as well kiss that 300 bucks goodbye, buddy. That's what I said to him. But he had hopes of getting that 50 bucks and parlaying it into an SP101, which never happened. This is what we're going to look at today, guys. I've got a gun here. I dragged it out of the gun safe. He hasn't been out for a while. It's a Winchester, an old Model 12, 1912 Winchester, 12 gauge. Yeah. They originally brought these out in 1912 in a 20 gauge. The 20 gauge was the original model. And then in 1913, the next year, they started producing the 12s and the 16 gauge. Yeah, the 12 gauge and 16 gauge in the Model 12, and had them in the stores in 1914. So this one here was made in 1941. It's an oldie but a goodie. A nice old field grade 12 gauge. And of course the 12 gauge for years was the standard for trap shooting. Everybody had one of these for trap shooting. As a matter of fact, there's a great old story of Roy Rogers and Clark Gable. Clark Gable used to go down. Roy Rogers had himself this shooting range. They had a little trap skeet range, and along with it they had a par 3. And Clark Gable used to meet Roy there at his place all the time, and they'd play a little golf, and that is a par 3. It is a little golf. A wedge and a putter, and you can play. And then afterwards they'd shoot trap. And the one day Clark Gable showed up with a brand new Model 12, a beautifully engraved gold inlay gun and a nice case with a little presentation plaque on it with his name on it. And it was a brand new gun he had just gotten, and he shot, and he only got 4 out of 25 the first time and 6 out of 25 the second time. And he said, I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with this gun. I blew it buying this. I'm going to sell it. And Roy said, well, you want to sell it? I'll buy it. And so he sold it to Roy right there. And Roy turned around and shot 25 out of 25 with that gun right then. That's a great story. But yeah, the Model 12 was the gun to have for trap shooting back then. And of course, they never made it in a 410. In 1942, they brought out basically a Model 12, and I showed you the 42 I have. And that was a downscaled version of the Model 12. Same gun, just downscaled to a 410 gauge, and they called that the Model 42. That was brought out in 1942. Fantastic gun. They produced it all the way through till, you guessed it, 1964. You know, in 64, that's when Winchester pretty much cheapened the entire production line to try and compete. Yeah, make the guns cheaper, and that's why when you look at old Winchesters, they always want to know, is it a pre-65? Because from 65 forward, use a lot of alloys in the receivers and the frames, alloys in the frames receivers, and the guns were generally cheapened any way they could without cheapening the ability of the gun to function. Put it that way. I don't know how I should put it. The guns still worked the same, but they just weren't the same guns. They weren't as nicely made. Cut down the labor, the man hours, so they could sell them cheaper. So this one, they just couldn't do that. They just took it out of production. So there you go, guys. I thought I'd share that with you. Nice old 12 gauge shotgun, the Winchester 1912. Yeah. Now I'll have to clean it up and put it back in the safe. Thanks for tuning in, guys, today on Saturday Gun Chat. I'm going to give you a chance right now to get in my contest. I'm having a contest called the American Gunfighter 5,000 sub giveaway, where when I get to 5,000 subs, I'm giving away a $350 gift certificate to Brownells. And this is all you got to do to get in my contest today. Number 1, be a subscriber. Number 2, like this video. And number 3, in the comments section down below, just tell me what you're thinking and tag it with poor Jack. Yeah, poor Jack. Tell you, he just can't get a break, and he feels like he's on a hot streak too. He really thought he could parlay that into enough money to buy himself a new Ruger. I feel sorry for Jack. I do, Jack. I feel sorry for you. I almost felt sorry enough. I thought about giving you the $50 so you could go ahead and have your game last night, but I hate throwing away $50, Jack. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like our channel, please subscribe and play the game. From Jack and me, Mr. Holster, go out and stay safe. That's 8 minutes and 45 seconds of your life you'll never get back again.